Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Writing Show Music for Battery Percussion series. In this part, we are going to hopefully finish my lovely, terrible marching band chart, The Celebration of Morning's Light. Let's see, we've got, it looks like one, two, three, four more pages to go. At the end of the last part, we stopped at the drum break or whatever. In the last part, it was only two measures. But I went ahead and added two more just because I apparently have a wish to record, an hour of raw footage before I even get to the editing portion. But we're going to see if we can't get through that, and then the next 20 measures right after that. So um, I might do a part or a episode of this series in the future where I talk about different types of drum breaks you can do and some of the thought processes I go through when I write those different types of drum breaks. But I'm not going to do that now, in the hope that I don't ramble on for 15 minutes just talking about nothing. So let's get started on this four measure chunk right here. So the band ends on beat one, or they have a release on beat one, and then nothing for the next 3.75 measures. So let's go ahead and give the battery a landing point right here as well. Now, in the previous videos, I've been doing a lot of writing. Dang it, writing one part at a time for 4 or 5 or 8 measures, and then going and doing another part. I think maybe I'll change it up today and write one measure at a time for battery, which is usually what I end up doing if I'm not writing from a note sheet like I have the past couple of times. And for the rest of the chart, I have a general idea of what I want to do, but I am doing it live right now at this point. So all right, so let's see. The band ends at fortissimo, but they stop playing after this, so I'm only gonna have the battery go up to forte. Um, so I don't think with only four measures left to us, I don't think we have time for any soloistic stuff. So it needs whatever we do pretty much needs to be full battery all the time. So I think let's write the last measure first because I know exactly what I want right there. Um, let's see. Eighth notes is also. So in this last measure, I'm just going to give a final couple of loud notes and then push us back into the thematic material of the last 20 measures. But we're also going to show some dynamic contrast and a little bit of roll as well. So I'm just going to make a guess here for the tenor parts where we're going to end up. There we go. Accent that note. And then let's see. Let's do the accent right here. Matter of fact, let's do a rim shot for all the voices, or for the snares and tenors. And then we'll just go straight down and straight back up for this. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. All right, cool. So now, since it's the drum break, I think I'll be a little bit meaner to the bass drums. This will be my one hill that I'm deciding to die on. Even especially for beginner plus battery, we're gonna put some triplets, some 16th note triplets in here. One of my all-time favorite things to write for bass drums is besides the 1, 2, and 4 that I've been harping on so much is running notes underneath another type of pattern. So like this. I mean, it's gonna essentially be the same rhythm, but I really like hearing running notes underneath a different rhythm in the snares and tenors. So we'll do half beat per drum, um, and then we'll do bass drums 1 and 2 for 2 beats. So beats 2 and 3, and then we'll transpose this down to be on drums 3 and 4. Let's see. Well, that wasn't what it wasn't done. Oops. Okay, so now drum 2 goes down to drum 5. There we go. Cool. All right, and then we'll also have them crescendo here from piano to, I assume, we'll do probably a fortissimo. Well, maybe not. Yeah. I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's my last measure. So that's what I want to build into. Matter of fact, let's just write our next note here. Just so we'll already have been started when we get out of this drum break. Okay. And forte. Very good. Okay, so now let's go back to these 3 measures right here. Okay. So let's see. Completely live writing here. I'm literally making this up as I go along. Let's try. Oh goodness, what have I done? What has happened? Okay. So I think we'll do. We won't. For this video, I won't get too out of the concepts that I've already done in the drum break, which is something I would not recommend you do when you write for your either your drum line or your students, whatever you're writing for. Usually, you want your drum break to accentuate the drum line's best features. So usually, those features are already going to be present within whatever you're writing here. It's just the battery's playing by itself or your percussion section's playing by itself. So I wouldn't go too far away from what you've already been doing, just to not take too many risks, unless you want to take risks, and then by all means go ahead. Let's see. So 1 and 2 and a 3 and a E and a. Let's see. I don't really like that. We'll keep it for now. Okay, so we'll do some diddle stuff here. Okay. All right. So in the tenor part, I know I said I was going to write 1 measure at a time for each instrument. So let's actually try to do that. Let's do a little bit of contrasting accent stuff between the snares and tenors. That'll be cool, I guess. So here we'll have an accent on 2, the of 2. Then maybe we'll try that. So for those of you who I've confused to all you know what about how their tenor players are going to play that, that's going to be the sticking eventually. I'll just keep that in there for now. And we'll do that. I'm gonna actually listen to this real quick, and you're gonna hear it as well. So let's see how I like that. Let's see if I can actually see the music while it's playing. Hopefully that'll work. All right, yeah, I like that. I think that's just crazy enough to work, and it's a little bit more challenging than what we've got in the rest of the chart. So I think that'll be fine. I don't think I want to carry this triplet roll into the. Matter of fact, let's get rid of that because I have another idea. Let's take that same syncopation we did earlier in the chart. And bring it back. I missed an accent on beat 1. That's good. Okay. All right. So now let's write the bass drum part for this. I won't do. I'm just gonna kind of emulate the rhythm, but not the accents and stuff. So we'll do 1 or 2 and a 3, and then maybe a split down the drums and a 4 and a. Then maybe a unison measure 1 and 4 and a. Okay, so now cymbals. Let's accentuate 1 and the and of 2. Okay, very good. Except when you miss an accent. Now, yeah, let's listen to this too, just to make sure I like it. Again, I am doing this 100%, no preparation whatsoever. I just opened Finale and started recording, so. Okay. I think that'll work. So now let's close it out by doing let's just do a paradiddle section or a paradiddle measure on the snare drum, and we'll do more of the syncopation stuff in the tenors as well, just to kind of keep that theme going. So we'll do let's see. I'm going to change this measure to make it easier. Well, no, I think that'll be okay. They can go back from drum 3. Let's see. Okay, then we'll do this again, but maybe we'll move that up to the Spock. Then we'll do all 4 16th notes on drum 4 here. And then we'll do more 16th note splits. Okay, we'll accent those as well. Yeah, awesome. All right, so accent that note. Accent this note. we'll just add that. Okay, so let's save and let's listen to this and make sure we like it. Yeah, that we might. I'm not in love with it, but that will work for this video, especially since we're already 15 and a half minutes in raw footage. So yeah, biggest rules for writing a drum break is number one, don't do too much. Okay, this is the time to accentuate your battery's best features. All right, so ideally you can take concepts that you've already been writing within the rest of the chart and just kind of make them a little bit more challenging. Yeah, and then obviously the longer you go, the more stuff you're going to have to make it impressive. But I think that'll work just fine for a 4-measure little push into the last phrase. So I noticed here that I had my drums soloed there, so let's take those off now. All right, so now we are in the the last part we wrote. Where is it? We talked about verse versus chorus. Now we're in the we're in the end game. Okay, so I'll just put that up here as well. Basically, the main themes coming back. It's a little varied. It's basically 2 8-measure phrases of mostly the same material, so it's going to be on us to provide the variety with the drum part. Okay, and the way I'm going to do that here is this 8 measures is going to not be notey, and then these 8 measures are going to be more notey, and then these are the last measures. We're going to push as much stuff in as we can. So let's get started with that. All right, so here we go. 1 and 3, 4 and 1. I'm going to keep this measure blank to give us some space. All right. A lot of times when beginner writers get to their end game in a chart, they immediately think, okay, time to push the notes into overdrive. Sometimes that's not the case, and sometimes space is more impressive than 1,000 notes in a measure. So we're going to give our drum line the opportunity to handle the space well. Yeah, so let's see. Oh, goodness. That'll work. And then, actually we'll take those accents out. We'll only do the last 2 and put in a crescendo from mezzo piano, and we'll go to make it as much have as much impact as possible. We'll go to fortissimo, but we won't play anything in this measure, and we'll start the next measure at forte. Unless I decide that I want to do something different, which is which is likely to happen. But anyway, so let's see. I'm going to copy the measure on the tenors, or the rhythm of the snare drum in the tenors. I'm going to do something a tiny bit different, though. I'm going to do rim shots on both 2 and the and of 2. And then we'll reinforce that crescendo by going from Spock and then all the way straight down to drum 4. There we go. Mezzo piano and fortissimo. That's not what I wanted to click on. Okay. Very good. And just for S's and G's, let's accent all of these notes as well. Okay. So for bass drum, let's just do a straight 1 beat per drum split, and I'll talk about the dynamic shift in a second. So in this part, or in this measure, we're crescendoing basically end of 3 and then 4. I'm not going to do that on the bass drum. I'm going to do it directly from here, and we're going to go from piano to fortissimo. Basically, the idea here is just the bass drums appearing out of nowhere on beat 4. And you know what? To make that a little bit more evident, let's do everybody on beat 4. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I want to briefly explain how I handle going from a 6-tuplet split into a unison note, where I know when I write the stickings in a few minutes, I'm going to write a right hand, but I know that each bass drummer is going to start their triplet with right hands as well. Because that's natural sticking. So is bass 5 going to play this? I hazard a guess as to no. So what'll happen when you write a split like this, where one player would essentially force to do a double stroke? How I teach my groups to go about it is to just do something like this, where everybody else plays the note, and the person who ended the 6-tuplet split does not play. And it's just implied. I teach them to look for that instance, and it's just that's how you handle it. But like everything else in this video, you do that. You do what you feel is best. Anyway, that's my little rant over now. Okay, so let's see. This is done really well for us doing like a B, A, B, A, B fill type thing. I think we're going to keep that. Going, because why break up a good thing? However, I am gonna let's change this note to a rim shot. I may or may not like these 2 accents here. I may add more. Oops. Yeah. We'll see what happens with that. Okay. So for this B measure, let's go a little bit notier. As a matter of fact, let's just do an inverse of this measure. Okay, so I said we'd go back to a lower dynamic level right there. So I'm just going to do forte, piano, and then going back up to forte in the snare and tenor. So let's see. I don't want to do more 16th note splits in the our 16th triplet note splits. So let's write again my favorite measure for marching bass drum with 1 additional 8th note. Okay, and then here, let's see. This is basically 1 and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We've seen that earlier in a part, and I wanna copy that again right here. Matter of fact, I think we're gonna copy these all 4 measures and put that in there and see if we like it. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. Let's fix the symbol. Okay. Awesome. So now the symbol part for these 3 measures. Ooh, also dynamic here. I will just do half note crashes and then maybe a mute for this one. Matter of fact, let's do a muted crash here as well. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's fill in the measure with rests. There we go. Fantastic. For some reason, sometimes Finale doesn't do that automatically, and I don't catch it until I print the score out, and then I get really irritated. But, you know, it is what it is. So let's see. Everybody else is fortissimo here, so now the cymbals should be... we're going to take that measure out just because I don't like that incredibly well here. And we'll just do a whole note crash. Boom. Sweet. Now add accents here. Actually, we'll take this. Yeah, we'll keep that there. I thought maybe because we had a crescendo here, I would take that out. But turns out we're just going to keep it. Okay. And then another crash here to fill out that measure. Awesome. So here we are with this. Yeah. All right. So this last 8 measures in the end game, and then 4 for the ending. We're gonna be notier in this 8 measure phrase than we were in this measure phrase, in this 8 measure phrase. So, let's see for the A measures. Let's you know what? Let's just copy these, or let's just do this because. We're gonna be at fortissimo, and generally when you're at I'm sorry, hold on, we are already at fortissimo. Actually, let's do this and create a longer crescendo here. There we go. That way we're not overpowering the band too much. Already forte, so we'll do this measure here. By the way, it is impossible for a cymbal player to crescendo a whole note. Please don't write that. I'm gonna, even though all of these voices have a crescendo, basically everybody in the band has a crescendo over these 2 measures. We're not going to do that. We're going to start the crescendo here. I mean, I guess technically, if you really wanted to say, well, the crescendo comes from this note being louder than this note. I get that, and that's fine, but that's not the way I'm going to do it. Going back to what the battery's doing, the battery gets softer here than they were in previous. So while the cymbals are just staying and the battery is coming to meet them, so we're just going to have this right here for the cymbals. Okay. Sweet. So now we've got A measure, B measure, A measure, B measure. Let's see. We'll copy this for this A measure here. All right, so in this, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a little bit of the drum break in here. Well, no, I'm not. We're going to call an audible from what I just did. We're going to do the same kind of thing that we do in the drum break with some syncopation, but instead of it being split between 2 instruments, we're now just going to do everybody does the syncopation. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Now, also one thing that I need to be careful of here is we are at fortissimo. I don't want to write too many notes here because this is the loudest part of the chart. You really stand to risk overpowering the entire band. But we're going to pretend for this video's sake that our wind section is powerful enough not to be overpowered by the battery. You take necessary precautions as necessary. If that were to be the case, what you could do, and you know what, let's just do it anyway. We would put a piano on the second note of this measure and crescendo it all the way back up to fortissimo. And I actually like that better than what I was originally going with. So we're going to call another audible on top of the audible I've already called, because that's just what's going to happen. And it's my drumline chart, my video. Y'all are just gonna have to deal with it. which is the wrong attitude to take when you're writing for marching percussion. But you know, no one can stop me. So, like I think I've said this in one of the parts before, but humility is one of my strongest assets as a marching percussion instructor. Let's see. I don't like that for bass drums. That's going to be really weird to try to follow the and to E and accent pattern. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this rim click. And it'll take away a little bit of the cool aspect of the syncopation, because essentially there's this odd thing out. But I would wager a guess that you're probably not going to hear this this accented rim click as much as the computer's going to make it out to be. So, but I won't put accents on these. This is some of the only unison notes that won't have accents in this chart. But yeah, so let's see. We'll do a measure of crescendoed crashes. Let's see. So we'll start from piano here up to forte, and let's just we won't put crashes on the first two. There we go. And now we're ending back at not forte, fortissimo. All right, so let's go back to the stuff we've already written and see if we can copy something else. And you know what? I think we could use this. I might be completely wrong, but we'll see. I like that. So we'll again do a crescendo kind of throughout the battery here. But we will accent the last eighth note in the snare drum. Then we will do instead unison notes instead of a one drum there. Okay. So then we're back to the part that we copied from earlier, so I see no reason to do it again. Because now, remember, we're still different because we're at fortissimo here. Oh, I forgot to add the crescendo. There we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now let's do. Where's that measure of syncopation I had earlier? There we go. We'll do this for the last measure. And we're at the whole band is forte piano. Let's just do a whole measure of triplet rolls. That'll work. There we go. No, we're not going to place a diddle on a quarter note. So we'll go crescendo, and then we'll end at forte. Actually, no. We'll go fortissimo all the way. Okay. and then we'll keep the cymbals the same volume. Matter of fact, let's do this too. Let's accent all of these notes as well, since we're still trying to be different. Accent that. Now, one thing I like to do when we're doing a triplet roll, maybe in a build, maybe not, but I like to layer where the roll starts for each instrument. So in this case, tenors and snares. So here we'll start the snare drum on 1, and then the tenors on beat 2. And I know I'm gonna have to change that, but just give me a second. We'll deal with that in a second. Very good. So piano here, up to fortissimo. Okay. So we'll do everything that's a shot on drum 4 here. And then this will be a shot on drum 1. And then this is left hand hits, and hopefully if I did everything right, yes, very good. And we will change the sticking. Oh, goodness. There we go. Okay, so again, I'm going to break the rule here. Same rhythm, same sticking. It's going to be fine. I don't care that I'm breaking that rule. So then maybe we'll be really mean to the bass drums again, and we'll give them that same split as before. We'll give them a second chance to hit it, or is it a second or third? I can't remember. Anyway, either way, they'll have another chance to hit it. So yeah, that is that measure. So now we are in the end. Oh no, we're not. Oh yes, we are. I don't know why Finale just added 3 measures. Thank goodness. I was very scared for a second there. Okay, so now we are at the last phrase. And essentially, we just got to try and push as many notes as we can without becoming overbearing or speeding up to quarter note equals 350 or something. So let's write this last measure first. And we'll do some really cool syncopation stuff there. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my Finale's starting to chug a little bit. The computer's not acting as fast as it was before. There we go. It's almost done, computer. That's usually what I end up telling my computer when I'm writing drumline music anyway, is it's almost done, just a few more minutes. Don't die on me now. Dang it. There we go. And if I were doing like not beginner plus, I'd put more, or I'd put crossovers in there. But since we are not, we are just writing open-handed. We're just going to keep that there. So yeah, awesome. Then we'll do a running note in the or in the bass drums. Despite my desires to, we will not write the my favorite measure on top or underneath this syncopation stuff. Okay, let's see. We'll do regular crash, choked crash, back to regular crash, into a choked crash. Very good. Okay, so now let's see if we can copy something else. Let's see, what's the... Okay. Yeah, we can bring this back. That would be perfectly fine. That'll work. Except we'll need to clean some stuff up here to make this work with the bass drums. But we can easily do that just by 3 and 4 and just starting a new split. And then let's see, I think I'll do 1E and a 2 and 3 and then 4E and right there. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we have reached the end. Oh, wait, no, we haven't. I still haven't. I have to fix these dynamics. There we go. Yeah, all right, so now we have reached the end. So I'll do the thing where I write all the sticking and make pictures and do an audio. So yeah, so that we can listen to it. But yeah, so thanks so much for going on this journey with me. This I think like 5-hour journey at this point. If you would like to download this document or this concert band chart without the drum parts, I will have a PDF of it posted on my website as well as an audio of only the wind parts, so that you can take it in whatever your notation software is, be it Finale or Sibelius or MuseScore, whatever you happen to use, and you can just write your drum parts, export an MP3, and merge them in something like GarageBand, and that way you can practice writing your stuff too. And hopefully, my overarching goal for this series in particular is to help people get started when maybe they don't have an avenue to work with. Because that was definitely something that was a hardship for me to get over when I got my start trying to write higher level marching percussion stuff. So hopefully this will give someone an outlet to practice their craft, and maybe I'll be indirectly responsible for the next Paul Marinick or Colin McNutt. But I'm gonna quit dreaming and shut up and yeah, enjoy it. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.